This short video describes the impacts of farrow axis deer on pasture grass growth and recovery. It's generally known that beef cows consume about 2.6 to 3% of their body weight in dry matter or forage measured without water. Whereas feral goats and deer tend to consume a higher percentage of their body weight in forage, it's generally accepted that 6 goats eat for 1 cow or animal unit, while 5 axis deer consume the same amount of forage as a cow. We're going to present some data that demonstrates how the combination of drought and axis deer impact has a greater impact on forage recovery than simply the effects on carrying capacity. This is generally speaking what most of our livestock producers are dealing with. Cows on limited forage resources. Let's look at a more structured research program. Shown here are some forage results from our work at the Maui Livestock and Forage Research Station in Pihola, Maui. For this particular planting, we tracked it every 4 weeks in terms of its growth rate. Also, every 4 weeks after the 3-month establishment period, this forage was harvested and allowed to recover, and its regrowth was measured. And you can see that with this forage planting, even after cutting down to 4 inches of grass, the forage bounced back, it grew back, and by the time 20 weeks elapsed from the time it was planted, we were approaching between 8,000 and 10,000 pounds of dry matter forage per acre. That's about 30,000 pounds of grass per acre. In an adjacent parcel where there was no livestock grazing or clipping by us at all, but it was exposed to feral deer pressure, you can see that very, very little regrowth was to occurred over time. So while we often think of 5 deer eating the same amount for 1 cow, in this case, because they're constantly eating the tips from the fresh shoots during the forage recovery period, their impact on forage production is actually much greater than just limiting carrying capacity. To visualize what this may look like, here we have an area at the research station that we have fenced off from the deer with these panels, and we have a robust stand of pangola and other grasses like bahia grass, paspalums planted. You can see in the surrounding area, the deer have completely denuded that ground. In fact, all that's left are sedges and some undesirables. And if we take a closer look, this is just 1 month, 4 weeks of impact on growth that the deer population are having. Consider what is happening on thousands and thousands of acres of productive pasture and rangelands within Maui County. This is a huge problem. This work is sponsored by the University of Hawaii, Maui County Farm Bureau, Maui Cattlemen's Association, and the Mayor's Office of Economic Development in Maui County.